Hey guys, welcome back. Another one of our slant alpha adventures. Yeah, it's kind of a slant Lima adventure. It's the across the pond event. And yeah, you know how toast I am right now? I meant to come up into the title screen and didn't, so here we are. All good though. We are back with you. We are still making our way across the pond in the PMDG 737. Took off from Dublin. We're headed to New York. We are currently with Moncton Center, and kind of the crown jewel controller of the event.
Moncton Center, Walker 1142. How do you read? Walker 1142. I get you now. Thank you. I apologize for that. We're going over to Montreal.
So real quick, let's catch you up with how the event is going on, and then I'll kind of fill you in with what's been going on this frequency, and then we'll start looking at our arrival into New York. So here's the event as far as VATSIM is concerned. We've still got quite a stream coming into South America here, and then into northern South America. Pardon me for not knowing the name of the airports that they're arriving to. We still have stream coming into, I believe that's Juliana there. We've got a bunch that are still making their way into Atlanta, and then us coming into Kennedy and Boston. And we've got Toronto, Chicago, and I believe we got the western streams out here coming into Vancouver. And pardon if I've missed anybody for any other arrival fields.
50 knots, so just a little less than an hour probably.
That are still participating and have planes coming in. So still quite a ways to go for many of us flying the event, including myself. We're still up here within Moncton's airspace, getting ready to get handed over to Boston. And even once we get handed off to Boston, we're still about an hour and a half out as of right now. So
be nice. Take half hour because there really is no conflict.
This poor gent on Moncton Center, first of all, he's been fantastic. He's like I said, he's been the crown jewel of the controllers of the day's event. Just one of those guys that just loves this event. Obviously, he has been the harbinger of two things. Number one, he's the guy that you request 15 minutes out of the cockpit with, because you check in with him and you realize, oh my gosh, I still have 3 hours before I actually need to start moving this plane around. And then the other thing is he's been dealing all afternoon with flight level change requests, because we've been battling these brutal headwinds, and everybody is trying to figure out what altitude can I be at where I'm not getting hit in the face with 126 knots. So people were trying low. Some people said lower was better, and then he was descending everybody, and everyone was like, oh no, it's worse, can we get climbs now? So he's had people on like the Vomit Comet roller coaster going up and down, up and down.
Don't let me sleep too long. You can remind me.
Just no matter what altitude they were at, they wanted to be at another one. So I've kind of just been under the impression that whatever we get here is similar to what we're going to get anywhere else. They did undo the speed restriction on us, but it's still, because of the headwind, we're still probably now quarter after 10 Zulu time, 2300 Zulu time, so quarter after 6 for our anticipated arrival. This point, Mills is still north. It's like just east of Presque Isle, Maine. It's still like 100 and some odd miles north of Bangor, so we've got a ways to go yet.
Kilo Yankee, contact Boston Center 128.05.
By the way, guys, what's the over-under, do you think?
128.05. Equal to 4 kilo. Thank you very much for the great ATC service. Bye-bye.
What number Red Bull is this? Would you say?
You can contact Boston Center.
How many do you think?
128.05.
So you can give me the right guess as well. Crack it open.
Thanks for the great service. Bye-bye.
Start drinking it.
And JetBlue 77, you can contact Boston Center as well. 128.05.
Rob Vodka is about to descend.
Over to Boston, 28.05.
JetBlue 77 was the one that was right in front of me, so I should be getting a hand off to Boston here in just a few moments as well.
And 221, I keep forgetting your call sign. Is it Victor Jet?
Vista.
Vista Jet. 221, you can contact Boston Center as well on 128.05.
So that's the frequency I've got pre-dialed. Let us take a quick peek, guys. We are looking at some really gusty winds at New York. Now, luckily, the precipitation that was coming through the East Coast earlier today has all kind of moved off, so there's no appreciable precip that we're going to have to deal with. Cloud cover, I haven't checked, I confess. But the wind is the big story here. Not only are we in the 120 knot headwinds at altitude though, but the surface winds are pretty brutal as well. You can see 190 at 190 at 16, and then the TAF is still saying 200 17 gusting 28, I believe is what that says there. We're still a little bit out of range to receive the ATIS over VPilot. Of course, there's a cheat, we could do that. Oh, so the controller, I told him, he opened up the floodgates with those flight level change requests. He's like, yeah, no joke. Are we now close enough to receive? Yeah, so we're still too far away. We got the Bangor main ATIS, but we're still too far away to get Kennedy's, but we can always do it manually by typing .ATIS and then the station that we want to receive the ATIS from. This works, by the way, for any station. It doesn't have to be an actual ATIS station. It's the controller information. Like if we do DC East Center right now, you know, it'll still tell us, you know, their controller information. But you can do this for the airport you're arriving to, KJFK _ ATIS, because you know that's what the station will be for the ATIS, and then you can kind of take an early peek at it here. It looks like it's Hotel 200 at 16 knots right now, so steady winds at 16 knots, and they're landing on the 22s. We have been kind of told, and we were kind of popping around from stream to stream earlier, and we talked to Jet Pilot Cinnamon, who is currently, or at least at the time, was working Kennedy Tower. I think he said he was not going to be on as late as our arrival would be, but he says, I think that the Kingston Star arrivals, which is what we are on, would all be ending up on 22 left, and they have to cross us over the top of the airport and then swing us around. That's what's adding probably about 10 or 15 minutes just on that alone. And I'll show you that star and how it connects in with the ILS to runway 22 left. So he believes that anybody on the Kingston is going to get 22 left, but of course we can always switch at the last minute just in case we need to. But that's what we're going to brief for now and be ready for, under the assumption that that's probably most likely what we're going to end up with. So we've got the Kingston Star. It's not a descend via. So we have some points here. We got this point Kingston, and then we got Lolly, which we're told to expect 200. Now I've already punched that into the FMC because I want it to work off of that to come up with my top of descent. I noticed that before I put this point in and before I put this point in, 200 at Lolly and 190 at Lendy, it was having me to start the descent way later. But now that I put these points in, it's got my top of descent pushed back a little bit to where it'll make sure that I get to these points, Lolly and Lendy, by the expected crossing restrictions. Now, obviously, we haven't been assigned that yet, and we'll have to make sure that that is indeed what we get. But we've got those into the flight management computer for now under the expectation that that's what we're going to get. So Kingston VOR, then Lolly at 200, then Dewar, and then Lendy at 190 and 250 knots, and then LaGuardia, and then we're going to expect Delta runway 22 left.
You can contact Boston Center 128.05.
28 of 5 Delta 514. We'll see it. Boston Center, Delta 514, level 340.
Delta 514, Boston, welcome.
All right.
Euro wings, 27.
So anyway, if we're going to end up on 22 left from this direction, it is most likely we're going to end up picking it up from this point symbol, and we're going to be flown across the top of the airport, and then onto a wide left downwind, and then a left base, and then an intercept. So this is what I've put in, the point from symbol here. That's what I expect. That is not what we have been assigned, but it is what I expect, and it is what we will brief. And that way, if we get that, we're ahead of the game, and if we get something else, then we only have to rebrief the parts that are different. Rob says, I couldn't hear New York Center at all. He's coming in all garbled. I had to disable the realistic radio effects. to hear him. Yeah, I had to mess with my radio balances earlier. I hope that I think it's better now on stream. It seems like it's okay. Aircraft sounds versus the radios versus me. It looks visually like we're good. They're where I want them, so I think we're okay. But the guys have different opinions. Let me know.
Delta 45, Boston Center, welcome.
But anyway, so what we want to do first is we want to check the points on Kingston Star, and I'm going to make sure that these points, Lally and Lendy, are in here with the expected altitudes. So we can go to the legs page, and we see Lally 200. Next page, Lendy 250 and 190. And then after LaGuardia VOR, we're going to get vectored to that point symbol, we think, and then so let's start looking at the points on 22 left. And again, this is just what we're expecting. It's not necessarily what we're going to get. Symbol, then 14,000, then Hare, then 10,000, then Seagull. Symbol, 14,000 at Hare, 10,000 at Seagull. 8,000 to Tapper, 7,000 to Detke, 6,000 to Haupt, 4,000 to Leifter, 3,000 to Rossley, and then we're on the final approach course there at Rossley. So we got 3,000 and then 1,800 at Zalpo, and then we got the runway. If we do have to go missed, it is 190 off the Kennedy VOR 15.9, and it's 500 straight, and then 3,000 to intercept it. So 3,000 is the missed approach altitude rather, and it's the point Chant 3,000. Let's double check that. I think that's what I saw there. Yeah, Chant intersection 19 out from Kennedy. And there's the hole.
What was the issue again? I'm sorry, I missed the first part. I just know you wanted lower.
Okay. By the way, we can set up the radios as well. The course 224 for the approach, course 190 as we mentioned for the mist, and then 110.9 and 115.9 on the radio. So 224, 190, and let's check the radios. 110.9 is the localizer, we think. Yeah, that's what it said. And then 115.9 was the Kennedy VOR, in case we need to go missed. Okay, so it looks like everything is in the way we want it to be. I think it's time to go ahead. Let's just get ahead of the game here and do our performance numbers. So let's go to, where is it? Init ref. We'll do a flaps 30 at 130. We'll pop that in there. With the wind where it currently is, it's, what is it, 16?
Lufthansa 104, you will to reduce to Mach 0.8.
So we'll do 138. We'll take half of that 16 sustained, and we'll add it to our VREF to make our V approach. So with a 16 knot wind, it's an 8 knot additive, so 138 and 130 on a flaps 30. And then minimums on this approach, straight in ILS, is 212. So we'll go ahead and set 212 on the minimums and 138 and 130.
Walker 1520, connect Boston 128.32.
12832.
Oh, and I think we can change back to inches of mercury here. What's the? I know we're early on the game here, but what's the the altimeter setting? 29037. Yeah, very low pressure and very windy. 29037. So we'll pre-arm that. So we're going to be much lower than we think we are when we switch this over.
Musketeer 24 Charlie cleared direct.
So 29037 and the minimums we said 212. I think, right? 212.
G4 Musketeer 24 Charlie, appreciate things.
Okay, so we have everything set up, I believe. Let's double check. Let's run through the approach briefing and make sure that I have not missed any steps. And then we'll talk about where we stand with fuel, because I think it's an interesting conversation.
Kilo Yankee, say Mach number. Mark decimal 86, please go to 4 kilo.
All right, so through our approach briefing, we talked about the forecast cloud cover. No, we didn't actually. What is the forecast cloud cover? A few, so the bases are 4,500, so we should be well below, kind of on that base turn. I think we passed through 4,500. Yeah, so we're 6,000 to Happett, or Haupt, and then 4,000 to Leifer. So we should be getting below the bases on that base turn. So worth, just because cloud cover can change. Maybe if the cloud deck's lower. I didn't see what the TAF said about cloud decks. I know what it said about wind. But anyway, cloud deck should be sufficient for visibility of the runway prior to turning final. So no anticipated problems. But at least we can say for our approach briefing that we have briefed this. So cloud cover. Bases at 4,500, so turning final, we should have sight of the runway. Winds were checked. We know that they are going to be strong, sustained winds, mostly down the center line. Could turn gusty by the time we get there. FMC route has been checked, and the legs checked, and the missed approach route legs were set, and the altitude was checked as 3,000. VREF speeds and V-approach, we talked about V-approach is 138. VREF 130, nav and course radio set. Missed approach nav and course on the radio set. Minimum, excuse me guys. Minimum set, we did not talk about auto brake and taxi and turn off. So we are supposed to, according to us, it doesn't really matter. But according to us, we're parking at Bravo 22, which is up there. So if we're landing 22 left, we'll kind of roll it a little bit long here to Juliet and try to come straight across Juliet and in up this way. So we don't need to be too aggressive on an auto brake. I think an auto brake 2 should be plenty. It's an 8,400 foot runway. So I think auto brake 2 probably should be plenty, and then we'll probably kick it off early. Make sure we roll it past Hotel here and turn off on Juliet. Unless they give us some other direction. But it's a right-hand turn off of 22 left, and then a climbing left turn if we go missed. So we'll go to the auto brake 2 there. And so that should cover us. Now, again, we don't know for certain that the 22 left is what we're getting, but it's a reasonable guess, and we'll go with that until we're told something different. What we said about the fuel was that we are starting to look like we're a little critical. Because of this brutal headwind, we're now down to 6:15 Eastern Time touchdown with 7,000 pounds left in the tank. 5,500 is our diversion and reserve. So we've only got an extra 1,500 pounds to play with here, which is about 20 minutes. So we may not land legal with that 5,500. Actually, I guess the total, the minimum that we could land with would be 45 minutes reserve, which if we burn about 5,200 pounds an hour, then 52 to times 0.75 is what? We'll take away 13, 50, 49, 39. So 3,900 pounds would be like the absolute minimum we could land with, and we're supposed to land with just about twice that, but that's not a lot extra. So we'll see. This headwind has been the story, as we kind of, early on kind of figured that out, that it might be. So we'll have to see how it shakes out, guys. Riding off into the sunset. You've made it this far, says A327, right? And if we start getting fuel warnings, but trust me, I'm going to push this past the limits of legality. I'm not going to divert at the first FMC warning like a real pilot would do. We'll push it.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
And, if you end up hearing the words unable, we're going to be in the Hudson. Oh, what was the guess? Did anyone have guesses, by the way, as to which number Red Bull this was today? Anyone have guesses? No raffle tickets for a correct guess, just conversational.
138.32, United 1202. Good day.
A320, slightly on the high side. By the way, I guess I should say hello to those of you who have stopped back into the stream. So, He Drippy, It's Not Braden, Kenny Monsters here, Rob Valkyrie, and A320 Simmer and Warhawks. Warhawks, actually, you got it dead on there. This is Red Bull number 4 for the day. Kilnavak is here. Kilnavak, that is a 9-month Prime subscription. Thank you, Kilnavak, for the continued support of the channel. I do appreciate that so much. Yeah, 4 Red Bulls. So in case we end up short on fuel, we've got, you know, a can of that sitting there. 320 Simmerson, seems like you do more than that on ATC nights. On a normal stream, it's usually 2. It just seems like more. Maybe 3. Went through a long stretch this afternoon where I was kind of up and around. We did finally get our cell count checked, and we were able to kind of keep half an ear out on the PC as we were up and around. And three co-pilots were with us. We've got some visitors here now. By the way, it's going to expect. By the way, once we get down, expect an abbreviated wrap up, as I do have company here. So as soon as we get touched down, probably head out to dinner. But we'll do a quick wrap up at the end.
American 1691, are you back?
So if we turn the map range up, we can start to see this cluster of points for our star and our approach are in there. But of course, that's 320 mile range. We are 160 miles from our next waypoint, Pippo. We're still kind of very much, even though we're in Boston Center's airspace, we're still very much like out up in the middle of nowhere kind of area. Show you on the chart. Come back to Sky Vector here. So this point, is this Pippo? I'm not trying to read the icing warnings. That's Glens Falls. So Glens Falls is like still like way up north of Albany. And we're not even at that. We're at the one before that yet. So Pippo, man, that's up here. North of Berlin. And kind of due west of Bangor. So by the time we get to Pippo, we're kind of a beam Bangor here. So yeah, still quite a bit of a ways to go. The ETA, the estimated amount of fuel slowly dripping away as we continue to face 128 knot headwinds. And now showing us touching down at 18 after the hour. And that's not even this next hour, that's the hour after that. Jeez. Good gracious, guys. Good gracious. Long day. Fun day, though. I mean, this is... How can you beat this? This is the tail end of it, but man, you kind of watch the whole mob, the whole blob just congregate here and then just like spit out in jets all the way across. And no pun intended when I say jets. I guess it is jets, right? But that's not what I meant. Water jets. It spurts out in like water jets across in all these little lines, and now you can see the tail end of the lines. They're kind of making their way. And we're toward the end. Normally I try to get an earlier slot for a couple of different reasons. I had to kind of not be beggar and chooser. when I was able to flip-flop the slot from the Madrid to Boston to the Dublin to New York, or Dublin to, Dublin to New York.
I do have to change your arrival, just advise ready to copy.
But we wound up with a later departure time than I usually get in these events. I typically aim for about an hour in. The departure slots are usually spread out about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. I try to aim for about an hour in. And that way I'm not the very first plane, but I'm early enough that it's before the worst of the delays can stack up.
American 1691, the readback is correct. When able, direct to Echo November Echo.
A320, do you get to decide the departure or arrival, or is it assigned? The whole route is assigned. The whole route is emailed to you the night before. In Europe, the star is matched up with the runway, so they won't even assign you a star until they know which departure runway they're using. It's a completely different kind of system. The U.S. uses a system where the stars all have different transition forks depending on which runway you're using, the stars and the SIDS. Most of them, I should say not all. Most of the SIDS and stars have transition forks depending on which runway you're coming off of or going on to. So whatever you file in the U.S., that's the star that you're going to have. That's the SID and star that you're going to have, regardless of what the wind direction is. In Europe and other places, the wind direction kind of determines which star you're using because it's hooked up with a specific runway. Right. A320, exactly. I think this is what you're aiming for.
It's an entirely different kind of flying, altogether.
It's an entirely different kind of flying.
At the very least, it's an entirely different kind of routing. So the departure star from Europe today we didn't get until they knew what the winds were and what runways they were using. The arrival star, just like any route in the U.S., is predetermined, and we have to use the route that they are putting us on, because they're managing such large, massive levels of traffic. In order to split the sectors up and staff the sectors so that they can share that workload as efficiently as possible, you can't just make up any route or steal any route off a sim brief. You have to use the one that they send to you. So we're coming into New York. As a matter of fact, if you look at this, we're coming into New York way more northerly than you probably would. Ordinarily coming over from Europe, we're coming in north and then almost kind of in from the west. Whereas I think you'd probably come more down the coast, typically. But because of the crazy levels of traffic that they're trying to spread out among all sectors, they have gotten a little bit creative, and they're coming, they're bringing our arrival path down kind of from the west. But you have to use the routes that they send you. Don't just make up any route, because that's just going to mess up all their traffic flow plans on the arrival side of the
Connect Boston 128.32.
Should we, 2832, should we be ready to get that same handoff? Where's that Shamrock 7 Charlie? Yeah, he's kind of, he's going to Chicago, so he may be going to a different sector than we're going to. So this is what I'm looking at. That Shamrock 7 Charlie just got a handoff. He's kind of more westbound, whereas we're here kind of more southbound, south and southwestbound. This Vista and this JetBlue, these are the two that we've been kind of following for the latter part of the event. They're also going to Kennedy, so if we hear that JetBlue get a handoff, JetBlue 77, pretty good chance we're going to get that same handoff not long after.
American 1691. The new routing is there, so when able, cleared direct to Papa India.
And the
Papa,
plane that they're rerouting behind me just got an alternate route into Boston, so they're changing the traffic flow into Boston. They're not doing anything
24 Kilo Yankee, Connect Boston Center,
with our routes.
128.32.
It's still about another hour and 15 minutes from touchdown. Maybe even a little longer, depending on how badly we get vectored around. Hour and 20 according to the FMC. Maybe even a little longer. And I'm starting to get hungry, too. Well, at this point, I feel like my wife and her family are kind of going to end up holding up dinner for me, which, not what I wanted, but I can't control the weather, or can I? I mean, if I can control the weather, all it means is I'm going to run up on this JetBlue 77 faster than expected, and they're just going to speed control me anyway, so doesn't really matter. Just is what it is at this point. We'll get down when we get down. We'll get there when we get there. Don't make me come back there. Still 10. Yeah, sudden 100 knot tailwind. It'll save me some fuel. Well, maybe I should do it anyway. Fuel situation starting to look a little scary. 6.7.
Contact Boston 128.32. 128.32 for Fuzzy
Another
1.
one
Thank
going
you, bye.
over to Chicago. So yeah, we'll listen up for, let's see, which are the ones going to Kennedy that are right in front of us? We got a Speedbird 24 kilo Yankee, we got Mercury 2, or what is, no, Mercedes 2 is what he's been calling himself. So Speedbird 24 kilo whiskey, Mercedes, you know what, I could just show you. Speedbird 24 kilo whiskey, Mercedes 2 is what he's been calling himself. Vista Jet 221, JetBlue 77. I think those are all Kennedy. All
Mercedes
four of those.
2, contact Boston Center 128.32.
Boston Center 128.325.
So 2832 is what he just got, so we're kind of in that same stream there. So I'll just preset that. That seems likely to be our next handoff, 2832. Oh, you know what we can do, guys, also? Let's preset some radio frequencies for... Well, let me, before I start confusing myself with numbers, 2832 is now preset, just on the assumption that we're going to get that same handoff in a bit. But let's start looking at the arrival frequencies at New York. We're not in range yet, I guess. Well, let's see what they say on VATSIM. So there's a 19.1 and a 23.9 on tower, and then ground is 21.9. So ground's 21.9. We can kind of have that preset over here in the standby. Actually, just swap that in and dial that 8 up to a 9. That'll be the fastest way to do that. And then let's see if we can figure out from the cross the pond briefing document. We were talking about that earlier. crossthepond.vatsim.net, and let's go to dashboard, and let's look at the KJFK briefing, whatever it's asking me, not now. From the north, Kingston 1. So some basic stuff. Most River World Transatlantics will use Calverton, and to a lesser extent, Landy. For this event, we're going to mitigate sector saturation workload. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. So that's why they're shunting a bunch of us over on the Kingston 1 from the north. It leaves you 190 over Landy, just 20 miles, because they've got to basically swing you across the top of the airspace and around. So this is kind of the shape of what we're going to expect. And of course, we got that that transition point for the ILS to 22 left. 31 30 left, 31 left, 31 right are both likely to be used. So if we are on 22 left, it is going to be 19.1, it sounds like. So we'll plan on that. That's what we were kind of told to expect for most of the Kingston arrivals. We're going to be on 19-1. Yeah, we're going to be on 2-2 left, so that would translate to 19-1. But again, if we end up having to change, we'll change. This is just trying to be ahead of the game, and if it ends up not being the right one, then we're no worse off at least. 19-1.
It's the Jet 221, say your Mach number.
Is set.
Mach 77, this is Jet
swap that in. So the ground frequency's in the standby, the tower frequency's right there. So all we need to do when it's time to switch to tower is just switch from COM 1 to COM 2 right here. So it's a one touch to switch to tower. So that's nice, and then it's a one touch to switch to ground.
Mach 0.80.
Mach 0.82, yes, JetBlue 77.
Just 80, so 80 or greater for JetBlue 77, thanks.
80, JetBlue 77.
Yeah, so they're trying to speed up the guys in front of me. That's good news. But they're not trying to hit the brakes on them. And we're the one right behind JetBlue, and we're doing Mach 8 now.
Yeah, they're just take a push on that arrival, so we had to change you to the other one.
So, if he gets this spacing sorted out, looks like we've got plenty of space in front of us, so he shouldn't have to hit the brakes on
yeah,
us.
look on that, stand by.
If they can catch these guys up to the two ahead of them, then there shouldn't be any need to slow me down behind them. So, should be good, but it's just a matter of this brutal headwind that we're all hitting. 132 knots now. And 6.6 left in the tanks at 20 after the out. Over an hour from now. Man, it's just this flight never ends. I said earlier on Twitter and in the Discord, you do this transatlantic flight and you get to this point. You get to this point way up here where you start talking to Gander domestic again. At this point, Alry, and you're just north and east of St. Anthony. You're north and east of the Gander Airport, and you're talking to the domestic controllers again. You're like, oh, I'm almost there. No, you are not. No, you are not.
And World Express 366 requesting to separate from the cockpit for about 10-15 minutes, if that's okay.
World Express 366, roger. First, what's your Mach number?
Mach 0.82 for World Express 366.
What are we flying? Still 10 and
World Express 366. Roger,
Krispy Kreme did answer correctly. It is the 700 series variant of the PMDG 737. Just went with the standard 700. I know that we have the business jet with extra fuel. I thought it would make a fun little twist of extra drama to see if we could make it all the way across with just the regular 700 series, and yeah, it's going to be a little close. Like I said, we're going to kind of push the boundaries of legality. 3.9 would be technically illegal with a 45-minute reserve, but I don't think your company would be happy if you landed without any more than 3.9 in the tanks.
Jet 221, contact Boston Center 128.32.
Of course, as a real-world airline captain, you hit this. You hit the 130-knot headwind like this. You, as a real-world airline captain, are duty-bound to find a more efficient way to do this flight. And I was picking on the pilots earlier that were pestering that poor Moncton controller. They want to go higher, higher, lower. Can we get lower? Can we try lower? No, it's not any better lower. Can we get higher again? They were just all over the place. Of course, they're burning all kinds of fuel by climbing and descending and climbing and descending. That probably negated any savings that they found. B, I think they were more interested in speed than efficiency. But, you know, C is, as a real-world airline pilot, you would have a lot, probably better resources than what I have with different wind aloft reports at different levels, so you would know what was good to go to that was likely to help you. But it would be your duty, like I said, to make the decision. Is it going to be worth the extra fuel it's going to take us to get from 340 to 380 based on what we expect to save when we get up there? And it would be incumbent upon you to make that decision and do that if that was going to be helpful from a fuel standpoint. Right, silt. Yes, and right. That's the other parameter in this event that kind of tends to throw a wrench in it. Is that we're in a massive, like, literally 1,200 pilots all crossing at the same time. So we're kind of, I figure, one unrealistic thing is we're trying to be a little less obtrusive to the controllers and, not add a ton of workload for them. So yeah, exactly. No, that's a good observation to throw in there. Alrighty. It is fun to watch, though. No, it is, and it like I said, it adds just that little extra notch of drama to it, and we'll see how it goes, guys. So when the screen's starting to get cluttered, I'm just going to knock the range down one. So we are still about 50 miles from that point Pippo, and things should start to get a little more intense from there. Are you starting to see, guys, why I decided not to start the stream as early as 4 when we were pushed back this far? I actually kind of figured this point Mills was where I wanted to restart the stream. Mills is right here. Figured we start anywhere north of there, all you were going to hear was all the people requesting, hey, can we get higher, hey, can we get lower, hey, can we get 15 minutes out of the cockpit. That was that whole frequency for like 2 hours was just, okay, can we change altitudes? Hey, can we get out of the cockpit for a bit? So really wasn't too much use in having that on. And even now, I feel like we might have started the stream a touch earlier than we needed to. But should start to get a little more intense now as we are just about to get that handoff into the more southerly Boston sector. We should hear a little bit more activity as they start funneling us in down on to the Kingston arrival, and then again the way they're going to cross us over the airport and then spin us around to that ILS runway 22 left approach, if that is indeed how they are still handling that. Rob Valkyrie says he's got rain, weather can't see. Yeah, I didn't think, last I checked, I mean, maybe are we close enough to do just a double-click ATIS from New York? Yeah, I think we are now. JFK. No, JFK is not in that list yet, but we can... Whoops. Okay, JFK underscore ATIS. Whoops.
Jazz 245, Roger, thanks. You can contact Boston Center 133.4 site.
So it is information India 219, so it's actually increased by about 3 knots. 4,500, so bases haven't lowered at all. Bases are still the same. Temps 14. 2935, and they're still landing 2-2s. So it doesn't look like anything has changed with their intended configuration. Let's update the barometric pressure down a couple notches. Wind is up a couple notches. So 2935. Again, there's going to be quite a big jump. There's going to be like a 600-foot jump when we switch from standard to local altimeter on the way down, guys. And then what's that? 219. So we're going to want to add 10 knots to our V approach, to our VREF to get our V approach. So we're going to do VREF still 130. That means our V approach is going to be 140. A320 said I landed in Dayton this morning at 34 knots. Yeah, that the weather's moving west to east And like I said, it looked like the precip was mostly gone, as far as I could tell. Do I have the? I think I have the layer turned on. Oh no, I don't have the layer turned on. That's why. Oh, we might have another push of precipitation coming in. So, well, that's going to make things interesting.
45, connect Boston Center 128.32.
Well, will we get in before that? I guess we'll see.
Good day, Delta 514, connect Boston Center 128.32.
All right, 2832, Delta 514.
Be direct to India, Golf, November.
Kingston, Golf 176.
Rouge 1227, Montreal Terminal on 132.85.
3285, Rouge 1227.
Delta 219, New York 132.17.
A320 says the winds are stupid around here. You're landing in what we had this morning.
Southwest 1473, Cleveland 134.12. Southwest 1473, Cleveland 134.12.
134.12, Southwest 1473.
Walker 3375, descend and maintain flight level 320.
78 flight level 320 for Walker 32.
So what did I say? This was going to be the frequency where things got started to get a little more intense.
Cross Wally, flight level 200, Delta 186.
Delta 514, level 340.
Maintain 300 now.
Flight level 400, Mach 0.82.
That was blocked. Delta 187 in the transition, maintain 300 now.
Alright, in the transition, we'll maintain 300 knots, Delta 187.
And who was checking in? Was it a WestJet?
WestJet 95, flight level 365. Echo, flight level 400, Mach 0.82.
WestJet 925, Boston Center, welcome, and Speedbridge 75, Echo, Boston Center, welcome.
Delta 514 also 340.
Delta 514, welcome.
And Delta 435, flight level 360.
Yeah, we're all on the channel with you, Boston.
Tango, the maintain flight level 360.
The gang's all here.
Prime and maintain flight level 360, frontier flight Papa Tango, thanks. JetBlue 1477, flight level 340.
JetBlue 1477, Boston Center, welcome. Frontier 3, Papa Tango, New York Center 132.17.
13217, frontier flight Papa Tango, thank you, clearing.
Your wings 27 Delta, New York Center 132.17.
Alright.
Your wings 27 Delta,
I don't know how many of you are with me now that saw the departure out of Dublin. The departure out of Dublin was a disgrace. Was a freaking disgrace. I'm going to try to prove that I do know how to fly this plane. That is my goal. We will see.
2159, passing.
If you looked at my stream from this morning, you would not think so.
Boston Center.
You would think, well, this guy really knows how to set up a departure, but he does not know how to fly one.
120 knots miles from Baxi.
Can you tune into any VORs? Yeah, you can. So the radio's down here. Hey, Drippy, they I'm sorry, not the comm radios. The nav radios are down here on the panel, and the results will be displayed on your nav display. And as a matter of fact, they would also end up in this instrument here, this HSI or RMI, I guess it is. So the answer is yes. I have them tuned, though. I have the radios already tuned for the ILS-2 runway 22 left at Kennedy, assuming that's what we're going to get. And then I've got the NAV-2 radio set for the missed approach at Kennedy. It's always best practice to back up your approach. If you're doing a conventional nav approach, it's always good to back up the FMC with the actual radio data. So 110.9 and 224. And then the missed approach is 115.9 and 190. So you'll see that that's what we have set over here. 224 on the course on NAV1, 190 on the course on NAV2, and you'll see the frequencies. 110.9 is our 22 left ILS, and 115.9 is our VOR for the missed. So in case we have some sort of a major catastrophic failure of the FMC, we are still able to fly that approach and fly that mist. But the answer to your question is yes. I just answered it in the long-winded way that I normally do.
Walker 1520.
You'll see, hey Drippy, occasionally you'll see like dotted green lines pop up on the scope. Not the dotted green circles that we put around the airport to indicate the thresholds for landing configuration, the 10-mile ring and the 4-mile ring. But you'll see straight line dotted green lines, and that will represent the that'll represent that VOR radial, that 190 that we would fly and follow. You'll see it should match up with the missed approach course in the FMC. When it draws it on the nav display, you should see that dashed green line representing that missed approach course, that the FMC course, the magenta course would, or the blue dotted course, should match up with.
13412. Walker 2159 requesting climb up to 340.
Walker 2159.
I'm going to go through the approach briefing one more time for those of you who joined late. We are assuming that we are getting 22 left. That's what we are told that the Kingston arrivals are going to get at Kennedy. They are going to swing us over top of the airport from this point, symbol and across, and then downwind, and then base, and then final. That is what we are expecting to do. That is not necessarily what we are going to do, but that's what we think is going to happen.
UPS 1013 heavy on the Revs 5 passing
the cloud cover we talked about, bases are currently at 4,500. Winds are sustained strong 200, so slight left to right, mostly down the center line though. FMC route and legs were checked, all the altitudes are correct. Missed approach route legs were checked and all the altitudes correct. Missed approach altitude 3,000 feet. VREF speeds 130 on our flaps 30, which because the wind is 19 knots, we're going to add 10, half of that, to the approach. So 130 on VREF, 140 on V approach. Nav and course were set. Missed approach nav and course were set. We just talked about that. Minimums 212 is set. Auto brake 2. It is going to be a right-hand turn off if we make it down successfully, because we are expecting to touch down 22 left and hope to turn off at Juliet and go straight across, and we're going to park up here near the top end of Terminal 4 West. So there you go, your approach briefing brought to you by Red Bull. It gives you wings. Man, I wish this channel was sponsored. I quit my day job in a heartbeat.
1321 thank you.
R21, turn left heading 140 vectors per sequence, descend and maintain flight level 320.
Say again, heading R21.
Heading 140, descend and maintain flight level 320.
Heading 140 and you can maintain flight level 320, R21.
Well, we're supposed to have 6,400 pounds when we touch down now at 630 almost. Brutal headwinds here. Brutal headwinds. It's a shame there wasn't much we could do about that, man, honestly.
2171, Cleveland 134.12.
134.12, that's 2171, back to that.
November 0 Delta Echo, turn left heading 130, descend to maintain flight level 340. November 0 Delta Echo, turn left heading 130, descend to maintain flight level 340.
Left heading 130, flight level 340, 0 Delta Echo.
Walker 3375 in the transition, maintain 300 and observe grade.
Okay, so let's listen out for frequency changes for Mercedes 2, Vista 221, and JetBlue 77. Those are the three aircraft that we're following in.
Lufthansa 1122 Boston Center Wall.
We think we have the correct tower frequency at Kennedy, 19.1,
24, climb to maintain,
and ground frequency 21.9 preset.
30, and I will.
So fingers crossed those are going to be the correct frequencies. But again, if our plan changes, if we're thinking we're arriving 22 left and they suddenly switch us up, then we'll have to be ready to change up the plan. Guys, bear with me 1 second.
Boston, Delta 45, for us to 5 minutes away.
Delta 45.
All right,
let me know when
guys.
you're back.
Roger.
Delta 440, New York Center 125.32.
It's more fuel efficient to land empty. That's the goal.
Delta 440, New York Center
Right.
125.32.
Yeah, we very well might dead stick it in from final.
Contact 125.325. Thank you.
If we get vectored around too much, we're gonna dead stick it in from this high downwind.
This is 179, RT1.
RT1, roger. Descend to maintain flight level 280 in the transition, maintain 300.
I mean, maybe we should research. We got 8,000 feet as we're coming up on Tapper. So if we had to turn in there, just dead stick it in,
Maintain 300 knots.
we could probably do it.
And RT1, turn right heading 1.
What's that about? That's about a 10-mile base.
Right heading 180, RT1.
Can you go 10 miles from 8,000? Probably. Now I'll tell you, if that happens, I'm disconnecting from the network. I'm not going to make the controllers deal with that. But we'll see.
In Boston Center, good evening.
We'll see. It may come to that yet.
366, checking in flight level 360.
World Express 366, Boston Center, walk.
Alright, so there's G-FALs, and what did we decide that was? There was an airport up there. Not Grand Forks.
Silver 1 Papa, descend to maintain flight level 340.
Glens Falls, there you go. So there's Glens Falls. We're just about 100 miles from Glens Falls. And then Albany is not too far below that, and then we should be basically coming down the Hudson the rest of the way, like if we were to switch over to VFR.
132.176.
We should, maybe we'll just we'll just request VFR down the Hudson the rest of the way.
American 723, New York 132.17.
We almost could.
32.17.
November 0 Delta Echo, turn right heading 180, descend to maintain flight level 280.
Heading 180, down to flight level 280, 0 Delta Echo.
And November 0 Delta Echo, in the transition, maintain 300 knots.
300 knots in the transition, 0 Delta Echo.
Now, we haven't had much of a chance to talk about our monthly raffles, by the way. In case you are new to the channel, we have 2 ongoing. Well, first of all, welcome. We typically don't fly airliners on this channel. Across the Pond is one of those exceptions. We're mostly a general aviation flying stream. We also do some VATSIM air traffic control. So we do mix it up. We do occasionally fly the Citation CJ4. We occasionally fly this PMDG aircraft. But we have 2 ongoing raffles on the channel. Raffle number 1 is the one that you enter with the Twitch channel points, the alphabets points as we call them here. We do the drawings toward the end of every single month. So we just did our March drawing, and we got basically the entire month of April to save up for your April drawing. So I recommend you save up for 5,000 points. You can cash those in 5,000 at a time. You get 6 entries for the price of 5, or 1,000 at a time for 1 entry. So do that however you prefer. And we'll talk about the prizes in just a moment. Raffle number 2, we are going to get 1 and only 1 entry into tonight, unless you get it dead on. We'll give you 2 entries to the winner there.
RT1 cross Lolly at flight level 200.
But that's our landing rate raffle. Once we get established on the approach at New York, we'll get your predictions as to the vertical descent rate upon touchdown. Not yet, because we're still at cruise. But once we
Silver 1 Papa,
once we get established, we'll get your predictions. Closest predictor above or below gets an automatic entry into that second raffle, our landing rate raffle. Both will be drawn toward the end of the month. I think the 26th is the date for April. But whatever it is, it's toward the end of the month, and we'll award one prize from each of the two raffles, and then we'll reset all the entries for the following month. The prizes, if you happen to be the one selected from either one of those, each of the two winners gets their choice of Slant Alpha merch, t-shirt, ball cap, mouse pad, coffee mug, or tote bag, which I'll ship at my expense. Or if you would rather have a electronic gift card to Amazon or xplane.org or Sim Market, you can opt for those as well. And again, every time we do those drawings, like I said, we reset all the entries, and that way you new folks to the stream always have a fair chance to get a winning entry in. Rob says he's coming up on a downwind. All right, man. Almost, he says. All right, best of luck to you, buddy.
Musketeer 24 Charlie, turn left heading 130 vectors for sequence.
Left heading 130, Musketeer 24 Charlie.
All right, so I hear some vectoring for sequence, but I don't hear a lot of vectoring for sequence among the ones that are going into New York. So fingers crossed that we're not going to get vectored around for delays much.
Delta 45 is back.
Delta 45, welcome back.
Delta 748, hello, requesting flight level 280.
Delta 738 Boston Center, climb and maintain flight level 280.
Climb and maintain flight level 280, Delta 748.
Walker 2159, climb and maintain flight level 340.
Up 340, Walker 2159.
I just have this feeling that any moment we're going to start seeing those warnings in the FMC using reserve fuel. In the real world, that would be, okay, divert time. We gotta land now. But here it's going to be like that. We're fine. We'll make it.
132.17, RT1, thank you, bye-bye.
Atia 1209.
Atia 1209, Boston Center, climb and maintain flight level 340.
340, Atia 1209.
All right, friends. Rubber's about to meet the road here.
Silver 1 Papa, turn left heading 060.
Left 060, Silver 1 Papa.
I haven't heard handoffs for those
1 Papa, descend and maintain flight level 280.
ones that are ahead of us. Mercedes 2, VistaJet 221, or JetBlue. The two that are off our right wing are going to Atlanta.
Musketeer 24 Charlie, descend and maintain flight level 280.
Descend and maintain 280, Musketeer 24 Charlie.
It sounds to me like the ones that he's working frantically are the ones that are coming into Boston here. So hopefully that means that, see, this seems like a nice loose conglomeration, so hopefully there's not a ton of sequencing and delays that he has to issue for the New York arrivals.
That's the highest I'll be able to get you.
Fingers crossed, guys. Yeah, so I'm starting to see the call signs that he's been talking to most frantically. Does look like.
November 0 Delta Echo, cross Lolly at flight level 200.
Cross Lolly at flight level 200.
Does look like those are the Boston arrivals.
Lufthansa 104, cross Lolly at flight level 200.
Silten just hit us with 100 bits. Appreciate that, Silten. Thank you. So we started to hear Lolly at 200 is the initial descent instruction for Kingston. So we expect to hear that same instruction for us here in just a moment.
Air Canada 144 Heavy.
I mean, we're not.
Air Canada 144.
I'm not seeing my top of descent on the nav display unless that's it just starting to creep in. Yep, I was just going to say. There it is. Just starting to creep into the
highest I can get you for now, just because of
upper left part of the screen, nav display.
Part of that, we'll stay at level 320 then, Aircon 144 Heavy.
Boston Center, American 2001, 20 miles from Pico at 380.
6.2, 5.5 is critical, guys. Get an extra,
correction, American 20.
extra 700 pounds to play with.
And Silver 1,
this,
Papa, turn right.
this is the culprit right here. That 113 knot headwind we've been hit with ever since we made landfall.
Let's get your 24 Charlie, turn 10 degrees.
It's alright though.
Left
We'll
button,
make
let's
it.
get you
We'll
24
make
Charlie.
it. We'll make it, guys.
Hello, Frontier Flight 2 Tango Alpha with you, flight level 310.
Frontier 22 Tango Alpha. Boston Center, welcome.
Take a quick spin around that spy, see
Boston
what
Center, good afternoon.
else is happening.
59 Heavy, flight level 380.
Get this
American
arrival
1959
stream coming down
Boston,
to
Central,
South
welcome.
America still. Oh, we got these guys coming in from the south here. Those are the ones that came across from Cape Town, South Africa. Very cool. Yeah, they did a lot of things this event that they haven't done
France
in
380
Cross the
Boston
Pond.
Center.
Did a lot of South Atlantic crossings.
Unable 380.
These are kind of the more traditional ones. Your Atlantas, your Kennedys, your Bostons, your Torontos, your Chicagos.
Boston Panda, speedbird 24 Kilo Yankee, ready for descent.
And then we got Vancouver out here as
Turn
well.
left heading 130 vectors for sequence. Descend and maintain flight level 320.
Turn left heading 130 on descent, flight level 320, vector 4.
United 3454. Let's see.
Alright, so we're just about, so if this is 40, 80, 120 miles from top of the descent now, guys. Coming down to it.
54 across Hancock, flight level 190.
Alright, we'll cross Hancock, flight level 190, United 3454.
November 318 Delta Tango Boston 123.67, or correction, 123.75.
2375, 8 Delta Tango.
So Drippy, you were asking earlier. There it is. We're now in range of that JFK VOR.
1202 contact.
193 miles even. It's telling us the distance. But there's that 190 radial, which I guess from here is the 010 radial headed northbound. But yep, that's how it looks. I mean, you could do, if you really, really wanted to, you could navigate this thing slant alpha or slant whiskey if you felt like giving yourself a challenge. It would work. I was talking before about the analog display. We have that here as well.
New York 132.17.
132.17, emergency Delta Echo.
Sansa 104, New York 13217.
So again, frequency.
13217. Silver 1 Papa, turn right, direct Kingston. Silver 1 Papa, proceed direct Kingston, India Golf, November.
Proceed direct Kingston, Silver 1 Papa.
Uber 24 Kilo Yankee, turn right heading 180.
Right heading 180, speedbird 24 Kilo Yankee.
Mercedes 2, turn left heading 090 vectors for sequence.
Okay, so he's doing a little bit of sequencing with the New York arrivals down here. He's got a gap, and then he's got these two, and then he's got a gap, and he's got me. So he's got some room to play with before he starts having to move me around, but I'm not sure who he's merging him in with. He might be just playing them off of each other.
Kingston, India Golf, November.
They did end up kind of on top of each other. Maybe he's just moving them to get them off of each other.
24
But
Kilo Yankee cross size Lolly at flight level 200.
Cross Lolly on flight level 200. Speedbird 24 Kilo Yankee.
Center hello, Southwest 1527, level flight level 230.
once we get into the descent, the fuel consumption is going to decrease dramatically. but the FMC is still overestimating our remaining fuel when it's revising downward because of this headwind.
American 1691.
Hopefully, once we start descending, we'll get below that brutal headwind. Let's go ahead and get an update on the
1477 New York 125.32.
2532. Probably our next
Over
one.
Papa, confirm your direct to Kingston, India, Golf November.
12532. We'll get ready to tune that in.
I'm very sorry we didn't get the frequency last.
Lufthansa 104, 132.17.
132.17.
And we'll rebrief our... Close enough to just bang it off the double click there. 2935. Okay, so it's the same. Information India is same as the previous observation, so nothing's changed. 2935. And wind is 200 at 19.
Can we get the heading for Kingston?
It should be in your flight plan. If not, could you proceed direct to Lolly?
Yeah, direct Lolly. That's what the speedboat for Yankee.
24 Kilo Yankee, thanks, direct Lolly.
Direct Lolly, speedboat for Yankee.
Okay, so he's still...
75 Echo, contact New York 125.32.
Still playing with their sequence, and then these guys are
125
on top of them, and then it's us.
75 Echo Heavy. Thanks.
Super 24 Kilo Yankee, in the transition, maintain 300 knots or greater.
Rob's getting vectors, and more vectors. Oh man, we might be in trouble then.
Silver 1 Papa, maintain 300 knots.
Maintain 300 knots, Silver 1 Papa.
Etihad 1209, contact New York 125.32. Etihad 1209.
American 2001, is that you calling?
Nope, that was for Etihad 1209.
That's your 1209.
New York 125.32.
125.32, bye-bye.
Lufthansa 1122, New York 125.32.
Who are we on now?
November 227 Whiskey Charlie, flight level 230.
2832.
November 7 Whiskey Charlie, register.
Boston Charlie Delta 85 Alpha 50400.
Oh, not who I thought it was. Okay.
Delta 85 Alpha Boston Center Wall.
Is it time to start getting some FMC warnings?
Maintain flight level 280.
Still showing 6.2.
Send the maintain 280 and Mercedes 2.
Mercedes 2, turn right heading 150.
I mean, I put in that we were diverting to Philly if we couldn't make it into Kennedy. We could go to Bradley. We could go anywhere. If we need to divert and they're too stressed, we can drop off the network and just get ourselves to wherever we need to divert to.
United 624 Cleveland.
Hopefully it won't come to that. Hopefully we'll be able to stay on the network and finish the flight on the network with fuel remaining in the tanks, maybe burn the last drop as we roll up to the gate. That's the goal.
Just confirming 3412.
Confirm 3412 for Shamrock. That's in Charlie.
November 7 Whiskey Charlie, Boston 2375.
2375, Sun Whiskey Charlie.
Super 24 Kilo Yankee, New York 132.17.
Once we get this next handoff, guys, it is very likely... Oh, Rob's on final now. Okay. Best of luck, buddy.
1 Papa cross Lolly at flight level 200.
Crossing Lolly at flight level 200. Silver 1 Papa.
Okay. Got a little clutter at the top of the map. I'm going to knock the range down.
221, request descent.
Jet 221, turn left heading 130, descend and maintain flight level 320.
Make sure our bank angle's turned all the way up.
Turn left 130 and descend flight level 320, which jet 221.
UPS 1013, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Up to 360, UPS 1013.
Boston Center, Tomjet 120, checking in at flight level 400, Mach 0.79.
Once we get our descent instructions and
stand by.
descent instructions and the next handoff, probably not going to be nearly as interactive with the chat.
Flight 180 on Mercedes 2. Boston Center for speedboat 24 Kilo Yankee, can you please repeat the handoff frequency?
Alright guys, just trying to rebrief,
24 Kilo
make sure I'm not missing anything, make sure I'm as prepared as I can be. The temperature at temperature at Kennedy is
Frontier 22 Tango Alpha, got a reroute, advise ready to copy, should get you in quicker than this route.
temperature's 14.
We're ready, let's go. Frontier 22 Tango Alpha, proceed direct Wilkes-Barre, Lima, Victor, Zulu, and then the Lendy 8 arrival. Okay, proceed direct to Lima, Victor, Zulu, for the Lendy 8 arrival for Frontier Flight 22 Tango Alpha. Frontier 22 Tango Alpha, thanks. Descend and maintain flight level 300. Descend flight level 300, Frontier Flight 22 Tango Alpha. Silver 1 Papa, New York Center 132.17.
Is that a Kennedy arrival?
13217.
Are they starting to hand out reroutes into Kennedy?
Mercedes 2, proceed direct Kingston, India Golf, November.
I think Lendy
Musketeer 24
might
Charlie,
be a
maintain
LaGuardia.
300 knots or greater.
Tango Alpha.
Maintaining 300.
Oh, that's Kennedy. I got him going on via Lendy.
Spirit 24 Kilo Yankee A firm. Frontier 22 Tango Alpha, New York 132.17. 132.17, Frontier Flight 22 Tango Alpha, bye bye. UPS 1013, New York 132.17.
Over to New York 132.17, thanks, UPS 1013.
Tension's starting to build. Probably only going to have one chance at this, touching down at half past the hour. 6.2 expected in the tanks at that time.
Fuzzy 1, Cleveland 134.12.
134.
Time to go into focus mode, says Silton. Yeah, not just yet, but I mean, you know, just waiting for that. Waiting for that descent instruction and the next handoff, and that's going to pretty much be it for chat interaction.
Tomjet 120, Boston Center on frequency.
Tomjet 120.
Thanks, just making sure you were here.
Center lead 647, flight level 410.
Lead 647, Boston Center walk.
Was that climb for Southwest 1527, your block?
Southwest 1527.
Who is that hitting us with the raid? Hopefully it's somebody who just had a successful arrival somewhere. It is Cross Hyperu hitting us with the raid. Cross, did you make it down safely, man? With all 17 frames, nice. So thanks very kindly to the raid from Cross Hyperu. Very great streamer, by the way. If you like what I do, where I kind of explain each step of what's going on as I do it in this. Of course, I don't normally fly airliners on this channel. This is more of a general aviation stream. But Cross is one who does a VATSIM 101 stream, kind of explains each step of the process. So please feel free to check him out. The furry co-pilot already gave you the link to his stream. Cross Hyperu, twitch.tv/Cross Hyperu. Thanks very much for the raid, man. Ghosty 4515, Rogue X Angel, Barbie Poindexter, Whitco 100, and Censored Mode all here.
Air France 688 Boston Center Wall.
Barbie Poindexter loved the raid alert. Yeah. Right of the Valkyries, man. Incoming, incoming.
American 2116 Boston Center
Surprised I didn't try this in the DC-6. Yeah, no, I did the DC-6 for Transcon. Wasn't brave enough to do. I mean, you know, Cross the Pond is like I said, Cross the Pond is one where, like, if you really want to enjoy Cross the Pond, don't be weird, don't be unique, don't be special, just do what everyone else is doing, because the controllers are already at the maximum of their workloads.
Hopefully there's someone there now. Before clicking.
Yeah, 132175 if you need the extra digit there.
Alright, that's the last of the Red Bull. Yeah, we did try to get a vintage Cross the Pond going, and we just couldn't coordinate the pilots and the controllers all at the same time. Someone wants to pick up that football and run with it. I have no, I don't have any trademark on that.
2 Kilo Romeo Boston Center.
I tell you what, it's a long time in this chair.
We are currently directing waypoint Hotel Fox.
I'm only an hour and 21 minutes into this stream, and I've been in this chair 10 hours at this point. More, 10 and a half.
Air France 2 Kilo Romeo, what frequency did you just come from?
We come from frequency 134.95. That's where I'm told to contact you.
Air France 2 Kilo Romeo, try 134.0.
Yeah, we were just that, and they told us to come to 134.95, and now we are reduced, so we have been at 134.0.
Alright, what's the status update on the fuel? Still saying 2230 and 6.2. So yeah, 6,200 pounds. Reserves were marked as 5.5, so if it starts getting lower than that, then we have to kind of start sweating. I mean, we're already kind of sweating.
2 Kilo Romeo, thanks. I just got your radar track, so you're all good now.
Okay, thank you very much.
BJ Golfer says the flight been smooth? Yeah, it's been smooth. Whether the departure, I really, I looked like a hack amateur flying the departure. I messed up so many things on the departure, but we got it back under control. Flight's been uneventful. The big story of the day has been this headwind, 100 knots, pretty much in our face for the last 3 hours, and that's what's added an hour to our ETA and sucked out all our potential fuel reserves. So that's what's going to turn into the story here, BJ. Other than that, it's been good. Once we got to cruise, it's been good. I'm surprised we made it to cruise without me flipping this plane over. I flew it that poorly.
Maintain 300 knots, Mercedes 2.
Air France 688 Boston.
Oh no! Cross said my first point was supposed to be 5220 north, and I went to 5520 north. Whoops.
Airbus 214 Boston Center, welcome.
Gross negligence. No, gross navigation error says what?
What was the call sign?
Bluebird 19 Tango Heavy.
No one said anything. Oh my gosh, that's great. You took them on a little tour.
Climbing to cruise speed, cruise altitude, sorry, 5370. Also resource stay at 2.
Yeah, we botched things now and again, but that's the best part of it because it's a sim. Yeah, indeed.
270 until, and then the next.
Yeah, no, the departure was a complete train wreck.
Okay, no problem.
But we made it.
Boston Center Delta 480 at flight level 400.
Alright, so 40 miles from top of the descent.
American 789 Boston.
And this is our point Lally, 200 at Lally. And again, that's an expected altitude. This is the Kingston arrival. We're expecting to be assigned 200 at Lally. And we did hear the planes in front of us getting that, so that should be fine.
Turn right heading 150.
And then 190 and 250 at Lendy. And then we're basically going to get...
Turn left heading 090, descend and maintain flight level 280.
Alright, 090, 280, Delta 514.
77, descend and maintain flight level 280.
280.
280, JetBlue 77.
Boston Center, Delta 36
Level
with you,
change.
climbing through 31 and a half.
Delta 3688
Heading
Boston
at
Center,
90.
welcome. Musketeer 24 Charlie, contact New York Center 132.17.
New York Center 132.
Let's go ahead and get our
Musketeer 2 for Charlie. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
seatbelt
Delta
signs on.
738, descend and maintain flight level 200.
Descend and maintain flight level 200.
Well, hoping they weren't going to have to vector us for too much sequencing.
Contact New York 132.17.
But here we go. We'll see how it goes.
Lead 647, descend and maintain flight level 370.
Down to 370, lead 647.
Boston Center, Delta 82, currently with you, flight level 360.
Delta 45, contact New York 132.17.
132.17, Delta 45.
WestJet 925, New York 132.
Greetings from the flight deck. We've just started our descent into New York, so we have turned on the fasten seatbelt signs.
JetBlue 77, turn right heading 180.
The weather at the destination is in the high 50s with mostly cloudy skies and pretty strong winds. No precipitation right as of yet, but weather moving in from the west, and hopefully we'll beat it down. The cabin crew is going to come around one last time to collect trash and take care of any last-minute needs, and we expect to be on the ground in about 35 minutes. We do expect maybe a little bit of traffic delay, so hopefully not later than about 45 minutes. And we'll give you any updates on ETA if it gets to be beyond that. Thanks again for flying with us on Delta.
Center, Delta 82.
Delta 82, Boston Center, welcome.
Currently with you, flight level 360.
Roger.
Alright, guys. Well, we'll see what happens with the vectoring around. We know that fuel state is going to become critical
77 maintains
rather
300
quickly.
knots and proceed direct Kingston.
300, direct Kingston, JetBlue 77.
We'll see what he does with us.
Potential aircraft Boston Center will be back in 1 minute. Stand by.
Where is that JetBlue 77? Felt like he was a ways ahead of us. So if they're slowing him down that bad into New York, it can't be going well. Uh-oh, Benday's watching on his phone. Power went out. We'll save the phone battery, man. Don't burn that all out on my account. Tell you what, let's go ahead and see if we can get the progress page up over here. Just so we can kind of keep half an eye on it. So 6.2 is still what's predicted, but who knows at this point. Can we see that from here? 6.1, yeah, okay.
Boston Center is back.
Alright, so I can keep the legs page up here, we got the progress page there, and that's the critical number that we're looking at.
Mercedes 2, contact New York Center 132.17.
45 west of Bottle. East.
And from Bravo 87, welcome. And from Bravo 87, welcome. Mercedes 2, New York 132.17.
132.17 for New York, Mercedes 2, thanks for the service.
Oh, I see they got this.
Lead 647 cross Stella at 1000, the Bradley altimeter 2926.
They spun,
2926, lead 647.
they spun VistaJet and JetBlue way over here past Bradley. Oh, that's not boding well.
Boston Center from 2 Kilo Romeo Relax to
That's not boding well.
Approximately 5 to 10 minutes.
Air France 2, Kilo Romeo. Let's see. Air France 2 Kilo Romeo contact Boston Center 134.905.
Roger that, we contact Boston Center on frequency 134.905. For 2 Kilo Romeo.
American 1959, New York 125.32.
125.32, American 1959.
All right.
Jet 221, cross Lolly.
Rob made it to the gate. Congrats, man. Everything go okay with the landing?
Delta 514, turn right heading 180.
180, Delta 514.
Southwest 1527, climb the maintain, flight level 340.
340, Southwest 1527.
So there's Bradley Airport right there. All right, Rob made it down. The other Rob. The Rob that kept his original slot from Madrid. Yeah, hopefully we won't run out of fuel. We'll have to see how badly they vector us around. I'm expecting to start getting a fuel warning any minute now. Yeah, it's saying 5.7 at KJFK. As soon as it says 5.5, it's going to start warning us about reserve fuel.
688, New York,
I'll push the reserves.
5.32.
It's not illegal until we land with less than 3.9, but I have a feeling we're going to land with less than 3.9. It's had a pretty big shift in the air pressure there. Did you see it?
Radio check.
I'm clear.
Bye bye 5.
This is Jet 221, New York 13217.
Had the lights flicker here in the house just a minute ago. We are expecting some bad winds to come through this area.
Triple 423, climb and maintain, flight level 340.
Stream seems to be up. Network seems to be up. Sim seems to be up. I think we're okay. Much more confidence in my physical real-world infrastructure right now than I do in my plane.
Air Canada 144, Cleveland 134.12.
Cleveland Center 134.12, Air Canada 144, have a good day.
Delta 514, proceed direct Kingston.
Direct Kingston, Delta 514. All right, so we know that's...
16, descend via the J-Fund 2, arrival runway 22.
We know that's somewhere over there to our right. Okay, yeah.
Descend via J-Fund 2, arrival 22 left, and altimeter 2928, American 2161.
Okay, so after the vectoring around, what's it saying?
Boston Center, American
5.0.
5230.
American 789, Boston Center, climb the main.
Using reserve fuel.
Climb maintain flow 240, American 789.
Yep, we know.
In Boston Center, World Express 366 at flight level 360, requesting descent via Kingston 2 into New York.
JetBlue 77, cross Lolly, flight level 200.
Cross Lolly, flight level 200, JetBlue 77.
Who is looking for descent? Who is looking for descent? Okay. Lead 647, you're going to be staying with me for the approach. And you can expect the visual approach runway 15 or the visual 24. Let me know what you want.
We'll take the visual 15, lead 647.
Lead 647, thanks. Descend to maintain 3000.
Down at 3000, lead 647.
Boston Center, World Express 366, so requesting descent VZ Kingston into New York.
Let's see. World Express 366, I'll descend shortly.
Roger.
Boston Center, American 2213, flight level 190.
American 2213, Boston Center, climb and maintain, flight level 340.
Alright, guys. Fingers crossed we don't get vectored around too much more.
American 2213.
Still says 5.0 JFK.
JetBlue 423, New York 125.32. Delta 85, Alpha, New York 125.32.
Those frequencies, those guys getting that frequency they're overflights. They're going to Atlanta.
Delta 85, Alpha, New York 125.32.
New York 125.32, 85 Alpha.
JetBlue 77, New York 132.17.
Yeah, that's the one we're following.
JetBlue 77,
That's the one we're ready to go
Delta
with.
3688, turn left heading 090, descend and maintain, flight level 280, vectors for sequence.
090, Delta 280, vector
Let's
sequence.
get an update on the ATIS.
Actually, Delta 3688, proceed direct to Lolly. Proceed direct Lolly and cross Lolly at flight level 200. I think that's what we're...
Juliet's
Lolly at 280.
190 at 20 knots now.
At 200, and you can
So
proceed
a
direct
slight
to Lolly.
left to right.
Lolly 3688.
Alright, you're not letting me finish. Proceed direct to Lolly as
2934.
well.
Roger that. Lolly 3688.
Still landing on 22 left, 22 right.
2 seconds before top of set for group 1 takeoff.
Oops, wasn't trying to.
Is ready 10 seconds separate, but it's like 2 minutes before top of the set for group 1 takeoff.
Let me know on your back.
Wake up.
Lead 647, the field, 12 o'clock, 20 miles.
Whew.
We're looking.
Alright, guys.
Delta 82,
What's the ETA? 1040 with 4.9 left. Oh, man.
You have a long way to go before you descend.
Roger, Delta 82, noise.
Delta 1185, descend via the J-Fund 2 arrival, runway 22 left, the Boston altimeter 2928.
Descend via the J-Fund 2 arrival, expect, let's 22 left, Delta 1185.
Delta 1185, same Mach number.
Rob Valkyrie says you're fine. Well, hopefully they've done all the sequencing they need to do with us, and they don't need to jostle us around too much more. If they don't jostle us around too much more, then I think we'll be okay. And for right now, you know, we told the passengers we might be as late as 6:45 getting in. Our original ETA, 7 hours, was 5:30. So an hour and 15 minutes, mostly due to the freaking headwinds, man.
US Center 12532, Airbus 214, thank you, bye-bye.
American 2213, New York Center 125.32.
2532, American 2213.
Getting a little cluttered on the map. I'm going to knock the range down one.
Delta 514, cross Lolly at flight level 200.
Lolly at 200, Delta 514.
World Express 366, turn left heading 150, vectors for sequence.
Back into VNAV 200.
Heading 150, World Express 366.
American 2001, turn left heading 130, vectors for sequence.
Repeat the vector on the left side, American 2001.
Yep, left 130.
Already have the restriction entered, so we're good.
130 from American 001.
Boston Center, good day.
What could possibly go wrong, Ray? Exactly. They did a great job with the sequencing, says Rob. Well, they always do. The New York controllers, man, they are, I mean, in the real world, New York controllers are the cream of the crop, and I think that the VATSIM New York controllers are the cream of the crop also. Minneapolis, close second. And I say that about Mini because...
647, you sit you at the field?
That's right.
Elite 647, clear visual approach, runway 33.
Clear visual 33, Elite 647. You mean 1-5?
Alright, yeah, same thing.
I say that about Mini because there's a high concentration of real-world controllers at the virtual Minneapolis ARTCC.
And Elite 647, I think you're going to lose radio reception on me on the ground. So once you land,
so I don't think it needs to be.
Looking at park
I'm going to switch it to vertical speed mode here, guys.
Elite 647, when you land, it'll be Sierra Delta cross runway 6.
So 200 at
Delta cross runway 6. When we're down.
Lolly.
Delta 3688, New York 132.17.
130.17, Delta 3688, thank you so much for the service.
Tomjet 120, New York Center 125.32.
Yeah, it's saying that our
World
descent
Express 366,
path
turn, or descend and maintain flight level 280, turn left heading 100.
is getting higher and higher above us.
Descend and maintain flight level 200 and left heading 100, World Express 366.
Bulgarian 23 Romeo, proceed direct pond set, climb and maintain flight level 310.
Back to land, send 310 to Romeo.
Delta 514, New York 132.
Why am I not using VNAV? Because I was in VNAV and it was descending me, even though I'm already below the calculated path by 8,000 feet almost.
Unit from Bravo 87, cross Cyper, flight level 190.
So I don't know why the VNAV is descending me when I'm already that far below.
American 2116, Boston approach 118.25.
But I'm kind of just trying to slow the descent until that vertical path catches back up with us, and then I'll put it back in the VNAV. But something seems to have gone wrong with the VNAV.
270 knots at autumn, Delta 1185.
270 knots now, and then published speeds at autumn.
He drippy, was that frequency change was for me?
World Express 366, turn right direct Kingston, India Golf November.
Right direct India Golf November, World Express 366.
Center Delta 514, was I supposed to switch over? Sorry.
Delta 514. New York 132.17.
Okay, sorry about that. 3217, Delta 514, see ya.
American 2001 descent.
New York Center Delta 514, it's 258 for Lolly at 200.
Delta 514, New York Center, roger.
So it's still, we're still saying we're 8,400 feet below where we need to be for Lolly at 200. I'm not sure I believe it.
JetBlue 77, cleared direct Landy.
Direct Landy, JetBlue 77.
JetBlue 77, reduce speed to 250, 250 knots.
Okay, so I'm not sure what was happening with that path, but it is now coming down to where it's going to try and get us to Lally. So we got 20 miles to get to Lally. We got 5,000 feet to lose in 20 miles, so we've got 4 miles to lose every 1,000 feet. So we're okay.
Delta 3688, center maintain level 190, expedite 190, please.
190, expedite 3688.
JetBlue 77, contact New York approach 128.12.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's lollygagging getting down to Lolly. We want to be 200 at Lolly. So I'm not sure why it's having so much difficulty with that. But we're helping it now, and it's going to be fine. It'll do 1,000 until it catches the VNAV path, but why is the VNAV path so steep? That's what I don't get. Yeah, so I understand what you guys are saying, but what it was doing was it was descending even though the distance between us and the calculated vertical path was increasing. So even though the vertical path was getting higher and higher above us, we were still on a descent. I have no idea why that was. I get what you all are saying, but I don't think that it added up. But it does look like it's going to be 200 at Lally. So my manual intervention seems like it's going to intercept that just where it needs to be, and then we can put it back into VNAV, and hopefully everything should be good from there. Okay, and the next instruction isn't until Lendy, and it's only 2,000 down. So we can hang out here at 200. It's only 1,000 down. So we can hang out here at 200.
688, reduce speed to 250.
And then we only need, probably about 4 miles to make that next crossing restriction, so.
Delta 514, cross Lendy, and maintain flight level 190. 250 knots.
At Lendy at 190 and 250 knots, Delta 514. Okay, so it is now putting us in a very shallow descent in order to make that. So I trust that things are going good again, going well again. What is our fuel situation? JFK at 2242 with 4.7. Okay. So it's slowing us down first, and then it's going to get us down to Lendy. And at that point, we should be switched over to, once we're heading toward Lendy, we should be switched over to approach, and they should be able to tell us for sure whether we're getting that 2-2 left.
Delta 3688, contact
Still
New York
information,
approach
Juliet, nothing else has
128.12.
changed. Okay.
Delta 3688, contact approach 128.12.
Approach 128.12. Thank you so much for the service. Delta 3688.
New
York Center, good evening.
Think will be our tower.
World Express 366.
21.9 we think will be our ground.
Kingston at 22,000 on the Kingston to arrival.
And what's the approach frequency that the guy ahead of us just got? .12, so that is what we think our next handoff will be, so we can just kind of be ready here. 128.12. Information,
World
Juliet.
Express 366, New York Center, roger.
Why is it? Oh man, it's supposed to be 250 knots at Lindy. What's going on with the VNAV here? Alright, so we're going to basically just have to manually intervene here.
Delta 514, contact New York approach 128.12.
Alright, 2812, Delta 514. So I'm not sure what's going on with the VNAV, but it's messing up the speed. Whoops. Put my camera out of the way. Messing up the speed and the altitudes at this point, so I'm going to just manually intervene and do a lot of that myself here. New York approach, Delta 514, information Juliet, 200 for 190 at Lindy.
Delta 514, New York approach, low depart, Lendy, heading 190, vector for the ILS, runway 22 left approach, and yeah.
Okay, 190 after Lendy, vectors for the ILS 22 left, Delta 514. Okay, good, we got what we expected.
JetBlue 77, descend and maintain 8,000.
8,000, JetBlue 77.
Air France 1590 Heavy, maintain 4,000, Kennedy altimeter 2934.
Maintain 4,000, altimeter is 2934 for Air France 1590 Heavy.
Air France 1590 Heavy, flighting 040, contact approach 132.4.
Okay, there we go. Lendy at 190.
132.4, what was my heading again?
040.
Heading 040, thank you, have a good day.
You too. This is Jet 221, turn left heading 030.
030, this is 221.
We'll use that banana just to see how we are with the restriction. Yeah, looks like we're pretty good. And then we'll get ready to bang her into heading mode for a 190 heading after that.
JetBlue 77, fly heading 180.
180, JetBlue 77.
So Sushi says, yeah, you would have wanted to start the descent much later. Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of the way we got descended off of the path, probably really off the path, leaving the path and then coming back to it is what kind of messed us up. Now I did, I don't know, I feel like I did rejoin the path through the FMC. It knew we were at 25,000. It knew we needed to be at
worldwide 925 heavy New York approach. Hello,
it knew we needed to be at Lolly at 200. So I don't know. I feel like it's not behaving as expected. But could be pilot error. Definitely could be pilot error.
JetBlue 77.
At this point, I will make sure it behaves.
5,000, JetBlue 77.
JetBlue 022 Alpha Heavy, contact New York approach 132.4. Good afternoon.
132.4, good afternoon to you. Thank you for the service. Bye-bye.
Thanks for flying with it. Thanks for flying with it.
All right, so at this point, we'll just...
514, descend and maintain 13,000, the Kennedy altimeter 2934.
All right, 13,000, 2934, that's 514. All right, can we get away with 1,500? 2934, we'll go into standard.
JetBlue 77, turn left heading 130.
Heading select and revert the speed.
JetBlue 77.
Okay, we do need to probably give it a little bit of spoiler to help it keep 250 knots while we're descending at 1,500 feet a minute. I could slow down by shallowing that descent out a little bit, but I don't want to shallow the descent out since we're still so high. Of course, that's just the function of being on this arrival.
JetBlue 77, keep the turn coming around heading 040 now and descend to maintain 4,000.
040, 4,000, JetBlue 77.
But we'll just help it keep the 250.
Vista Jet 221, turn 20 degrees
Yeah,
left.
yeah, the Kingston 1 arrival is the speed break arrival. Yeah, that's true.
Delta 3688, descend and maintain 5,000.
5,000, 3688.
Expecting to get there with 4,500. Rob is the true VNAV, says Silton. I'll go ahead and give you the control cam since we're starting to use the controls. You guys might want to see the controls. Alright, so we're at 1,500 feet a minute. I don't know what it thinks we're doing as far as routing, but we'll just update it to say we're doing that, which we're not. Oh, we're not. Let's update it to say we're doing that. Let's update it to say we're doing that.
This is Jet 221, flighting 040, contact New York approach 132.4. Good evening.
Flighting 040 and the frequency ability again, approach Jet 221.
New York approach on 132.4.
132.4, Jet 221, thank you, here.
JFK at 4.6. 32.4 probably will be
688, turn left heading 040.
probably what we get our next handoff as, so we'll get ready to file that in.
3688.
It's not a given, just guessing. Could be wrong. And we ease up off the speed brakes. Alright, we're coming up on 10,000. Let's do a handful of things.
Delta 3688, descend and maintain 4,000.
Let's get the cabin crew alerted.
3688.
Get start knobs on. I guess I never turned any of those lights off. So we'll turn a taxi light off just to say we haven't gotten our landing clearance yet. So I never got the front-facing lights off the entire flight. Whoops. Oh well. We'll go ahead and say they've secured the cabin. And I think we're good. It's flap and
Iberia 6251, inbound Cameron.
flap and gear deployment really the only other thing. So we'll level at 13, flaps are stowed.
Depart Cameron heading 040, vector to the ILS 922 left approach.
ILS approach to left, Iberia 6251, thank you.
Give us a left turn.
Iberia 6251, heavy depart Cameron heading 040.
Camera departure 040, Meridian 6251.
Delta 514, turn left heading 130.
130, Delta 514.
JetBlue 77, contact approach 132.4.
I would approach 32-4, JetBlue 77, have a good night.
You both. This is Jet 221, contact approach 132.4.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's a little early for the predictions, Rob. I'll get them. I'll get them. It's a little early. We're still at 13,000 feet for a airport that's at sea level. So.
At level 190 and 250 knots.
World Express 366, New York Center. Good evening. Depart Lendy, heading 190. Vectors for the ILS from
Let's tell it we're from Seattle from present position. That'll just continue to kind of give it updating. Okay, 4,400.
Delta 514, send to maintain 4,000. Expedite down for me.
Expedite down to 4, Delta 514.
Worldwide 925 heavy, turn right heading 360, send to maintain 5,000.
Right 360 and down to 5,000, worldwide 925.
Alright, so it's got us going into a full idle descent. I went ahead with the level change this time instead of vertical speed. So as soon as it bleeds a little bit of speed off, we'll drop out of the sky. I'll tell you what, go ahead, since he's got us going down to 4 now, go ahead and start putting those predictions in. Rob, we'll count yours of 334. I'm assuming that's what it was your prediction. Go ahead and start putting your predictions in as to the vertical descent rate upon touchdown. No bot command necessary on this channel. Positive or negative number. You don't even need to put the minus sign. We know that you need descent rate.
Turn left heading 040.
040, Delta 514. Actually, that's going to be easier if I do that from here. Whoops. And we will reassert that we are direct.
514, turn right heading 180. Sorry, they want to build out a little bit more room. The final lock's super extended, so.
Okay, right to 180, Delta 514.
Worldwide 925 heavy, turn left heading 360.
Left heading 360, worldwide 925.
That's not good news.
Delta 3688, New York approach 132.4.
132.4, Delta 3688.
We're running on fumes, Captain.
And just confirm you wanted me to take an orbit, worldwide 925?
Yeah, that's fine. Worldwide 925, just make a left 360. That works for me. Worldwide 925 heavy, just make that orbit to the left and then roll out on a 360 heading.
Orbit left, then roll out on 360, worldwide 925.
Thanks. World Express 366 heavy, descend and maintain 13,000.
Descend and maintain 13,000.
I was very chilled about the fuel half an hour ago, and yes, I was. I'm not anymore.
Turn right heading 310.
310, that's 514. Well, hopefully that's just one quick spin, and then we'll get back to business here. Looking pretty open, says Rob. Well, we shall see. We shall see.
World Express 366 heavy, turn 20 degrees left.
20 degrees left, World Express 366 heavy.
Rob made it down already. The other Rob.
Delta 514, turn right heading 040.
040, Delta 514. Alright, let's reassert that we are going to that point again.
You want me to...
Again, to kind of keep the FMC more or less abreast of what we're doing, just for the updated... Yeah, we know. Just for the updated fuel estimates and timing estimates, JFK 2248 4.4. We're okay.
Delta
We're still...
514, maintain 210 knots for me, please.
Alright, we'll slow it to 210, Delta 514. Okay, and we're still trying to get down to 4,000.
Correction, worldwide, 925 heavy. Thanks for the help fly heading 020.
So we'll pull a little spoiler in.
020, worldwide, 925.
Delta 514, contact near approach 132.4.
324, Delta 514, see ya.
Yeah, ILS 22 left. Roger that, 22 left, 3688.
New approach, Delta 514 is 5,200 going to 4.
We're
Word.
022 Alpha Heavy, cancel approach clearance. 18220, climb and maintain, actually, it was 022 Alpha, turn left heading 180.
Okay, so it's got it down to 210. We'll put the spoiler back in for now.
Again,
022 Alpha, turn left heading 180.
Left 180 to 12.
Scandinavian 219, turn left heading 240, intercept the localizer.
Left 240, intercept localizer, 23 right, heading 219.
JetBlue 77, descend, turn left heading 280.
280, JetBlue 77.
And I'm going to go ahead and drop it back into vertical speed mode.
Clipper 7, maintain 210 knots.
Yeah, 1,000 feet per minute seems fine.
210. For 3 Lima Romeo, reduce speed to 180.
Down to 180, no RTC, yeah.
Merc 2, contact tower 123.9.
133.9, tower.
Let's go ahead and get the first knot to flaps out also. Should be it kind of right over there.
November 3 Lima Romeo is 7 miles from matter, maintain 3,000 to establish cleared ILS 22 right approach.
Cleared ILS 22 right approach, RTC Lima Romeo.
Rob says, I see you now. Nice, okay. Well, fingers crossed we don't get any more wild resequences. We're...
7408, go around.
Oh my gosh. They're still sending planes
Clipper
around.
7, 5 miles from matter, maintain 3,000 to establish cleared ILS 22 right approach.
Added maintain 3,000 to establish on the ILS, Clipper 7.
And approach Canadian 219. We're not on an established tendency for 0. Can we do a right turn 260?
Scandinavian 219, turn right heading 250.
Right turn 250, Scandinavian 219.
Delta 3688, turn left heading 330. 3688, 360. JetBlue 77, turn left heading 260.
260, JetBlue 77.
Air France 1590 Heavy, turn left heading 130.
Left heading 130, Air France 1590.
Approach,
with you, 5,000.
Walk.
JetBlue 022 Alpha Heavy, turn left heading 060. Scandinavian 219, descend and maintain 2,000.
Going down to 2,000, Scandinavian 219.
JetBlue 77, descend and maintain 2,000.
2,000, JetBlue 77.
Clipper 7, reduce your final approach speed, contact tower 123.9.
Over to 1239, reducing approach speed, Clipper 7.
For 3 Lima Romeo, reduce your final approach speed, contact tower 123.9.
Reduce final approach speed, North 22 Lima Romeo and contact tower 122.9 over 22 Lima Romeo.
Delta 3688, turn left heading 260.
260, 3688.
F108 with you 5000.
Your friend 008 heavy New York approach pressure. Air France 1590, I need you to maintain your assigned altitude.
Maintain 4000, Air France 1590.
Or 4,200 left in the tanks predicted. Approach Delta 514. We are here. Just didn't get a chance to check in earlier.
Delta 514, New York sinks, reduce speed to 210.
We're flying 210, Delta 514.
JFK approach, we're wide 9025.
JetBlue 77, maintain 210 knots.
Increase 210, JetBlue 77.
Scandinavian 219, maintain 210 knots.
Maintain 210 knots, Scandinavian 219.
Delta 3688, maintain 210 knots.
So Rossley is 12 miles out, Zalpo 7 miles out. Rossley and Zalpo.
102,000, F108.
JetBlue 022 Alpha, turn left heading 060.
Left 060 to Alpha.
Air France 1590, heavy channel heading 040.
Left heading 040, Air France 1590.
JFK approach, we're wide 9025 heading 040.
Hold wide 925 heavy New York approach, turn left heading 360, change runway, expect the ILS 22 right.
Left 360, expect 22 right, we're wide 9025.
Just in case we need it, guys.
Delta 514, descend and maintain 2000, reduce speed to 180.
2,180 on the speed, Delta 514.
Okay, the 219 is 6 miles from Zalpo, maintain 2000 to establish fit ILS 22 left. I'm sorry, were you assigned 22 left or 22 right?
I was assigned 22 right, Scandinavian 219.
Alright, you fly for matter, maintain 2000 to establish fit ILS 22 right approach.
Fit ILS 22 right approach and maintain 2000 to establish. Should we keep the speed restriction too?
Maintain 180 knots until matter.
180 knots on matter.
In case we need to switch to the right. Just have
Air
it up in
France
front of
8
me.
heavy, turn left heading 310. Hold right 925, descend and maintain 3000.
109.5 in case we need to do it. We'll just have it in the standby.
Air France 008, turn left heading 280.
Left 20, F108.
Delta 3688, descend and maintain 2000.
2000, 3688.
Hold right 925 heavy, turn left heading 340, descend and maintain 3000.
340 and 3 down to 3000, we're 1925.
Delta 514, turn left heading 360.
360, Delta 514.
Delta 3688 is 15 miles from Zalpo. Maintain 2000 to establish fit ILS 22 left approach. Maintain 210 knots until advised.
What about? Maintain 210 knots until established, 3688.
Nope. Maintain
we're flaps.
2000 to establish. Maintain 210 knots until I tell you otherwise.
2500.
We're flaps 5.
2000 until established, 210 knots.
180 knots, 2,000 feet.
What's the fix? 3688?
No fix until I tell you otherwise. Scandinavian 219.
Roger that. Until you tell me otherwise.
3.9.
3688.
Scandinavian 219, please establish 22 right.
Okay, the 219 tower 123.9.
123.9, thank you.
Kennedy approach, American 2112 with you at 5000.
We're going to bang this left-hand turn as soon as he gets it.
514, turn left heading 280.
280, Delta 514.
Air France 1590 Heavy, turn left heading 340.
Left heading 340, Air France 1590.
JetBlue 022 Alpha, turn left heading 040.
040 to 12.
American 2112, you open. Hold right 925, just set him, I'm sorry, reduce speed to 180.
180, we're 1925.
JetBlue 77, are you establishing on the right or the left side?
You never gave me approach clearance, JetBlue 77, but we have ILS 22 left as planned.
JetBlue 77, turn left heading 190 and intercept 22 left.
190, intercept 22 left, JetBlue 77.
Air France 008 Heavy, turn left heading 240, intercept the localizer.
240, clear for the localizer from 008.
I'm sorry, Air France 008, are you on the right or the left side?
We're on the right side from 008.
Okay, Air France 008, change the runway, expect the ILS T2 on.
To the right or left, from 008.
Air France 008 Heavy, expect the ILS T2 left.
Expect to left, from 008.
Hold right 925, turn left heading 240, intercept the localizer.
240 and intercept the localizer, we're 1925.
JetBlue 77 is 3 miles from Zalpo, 2000 to establish clear ILS T2 left.
Maintain 2000 to establish cleared ILS 22 left, JetBlue 77.
New York approach, American 2112 is with you at 5000. Not sure if I heard your feedback.
American 2112, New York approach, roger. JetBlue 022 Alpha, turn left heading 360.
Give us an intercept.
American 2112, turn left heading 290, expect the ILS T2 right.
Turn left 290, expect the ILS 2 to right, American 2112.
And New York approach, good evening. World Express 366 Heavy, heading 040, descending 4,000 at 6,800
Worldwide
for
925,
the ILS
also matter, maintain 3000 to establish cleared ILS T2 right approach.
Maintain 3000 until established, cleared ILS
Low fuel warning on the right side.
22 right approach, we're 1925.
Air France 1590 Heavy, turn left heading 260.
Left heading 260, Air France 1590.
Delta 514, turn left heading 250.
250, Delta 514.
New York approach, American 2112 request.
No requests.
Can we request 22 left? We're already programmed for it.
I just want to tell you both.
American 2112 unable, check ILS T2 right.
Okay, we'll stay with 22 right, American 2112.
JetBlue 002 Alpha Heavy, New York.
Yes, I'll pass a message.
Turn left heading 290.
Left 290 to 12.
JetBlue 77, contact tower 119.1.
Over to tower 91, JetBlue 77.
Delta 3688, reduce to your final approach speed, contact tower 119.1.
I'm sick to my stomach, guys.
3688, down to final approach speed, 119.1. Thank you so much for the service.
American 2112, descend and maintain 3000.
Descending to 3000, American 2112.
Air France 1590 Heavy, descend and maintain 2000.
Descend and maintain 2000, Air France 1590 Heavy.
New York approach, good evening. World Express 366, heading 040 at 1,000 for 4,000 for the ILS related left approach.
Worldwide 925 Heavy, contact tower 123.9.
23.9, well 1925.
World Express 366,
World Express
turn left heading 010.
Heading 040, descending 4,000 for the ILS runway 22 left.
Yes, sir, I got you the 3 times that you checked in. World Express 366 Heavy, turn left heading 010, reduce speed to 210.
Heading 010 and head speed 210, World Express 366.
Air France 008 Heavy is 900 miles from South Pole. Turn right heading 250, maintain 2000 to establish cleared ILS T2 left.
The traffic inside and left 250 and maintain 2000, clear for the ILS.
We're 5 miles from
American
Zalpo.
2112, turn left heading 260.
So we hopefully are getting...
Arbiter 6251, 4,000 feet.
Air 6251 Heavy, New York approach, roger.
Hopefully getting an intercept here. Low fuel warning on both sides now. We're officially landing with illegal amounts of fuel. Oh yeah, just
Delta
Smitty, we've been
14 is 10 miles from Valpo, maintain 2,000 till established, clear ILS 22 left.
Alright, 2,000 till established, cleared ILS 22 left, Delta 514.
JetBlue 002 Alpha, turn left heading 220.
Left 220, 0212.
Yeah, we've been battling headwinds all along, guys.
90 heavy, reduce speed to 180, fly heading 250, accept the localizer.
Reduce speed to 180 and fly heading 250, intercept localizer for Air France 1590 Heavy.
Air France 1590 Heavy, are you able to fly your aircraft?
It's my first time flying a 747, so it doesn't like to go slow and low altitude, so struggling a little bit, but I'm doing my best I can.
You're flying the aircraft for the first time for across the pond. Probably not the best decision. Let's go flaps 15.
American 293 Heavy with you at 5,000.
American 2112 is 5 miles from Matter, maintain 3,000 till established, bid ILS 22 right approach.
Okay, we'll maintain 3,000 till we hit the LILS, American 2112.
Air France 1590, clear ILS 22 left.
Cleared for the ILS 22 left, Air France 1590.
American 293 Heavy, turn left heading 290.
Turn left 290, 293.
Right, just waiting for the glide slope to come down. We'll go ahead and get the gear out. I think we're 10. We're flaps 10, so we can go flaps 15.
Contact tower 119.1.
Tower 119.1, then from the way, thank you.
You guys got to be quicker with the responses. American 2112, 180 knots until Matter, contact tower 123.9.
132.9, American 2112. Have a good night.
Good night, Air France 1590, maintain 180 knots until Valpo.
Maintain 180 knots until Valpo, Air France 1590 Heavy.
We'll approach American 2001 at 4,000.
Iberia 6251 Heavy, turn left heading 340.
Runway is in sight.
Radar 5251. 022 Alpha Heavy, turn right heading 260.
260 to 12.
Air France 1590 Heavy, reduce speed to 160.
And we're still 1 dot to go on the glide slope.
American 2112, contact tower 123.9.
30 knots on the headwind, so
514, contact tower 119.1.
19-1 Delta 514.
New York approach American 2001. Kennedy taxi hotel, hold short of 20 right.
Hotel short of 20 right, Delta 3688.
What did I say?
Thank you, you're coming out. Kennedy Tower, Delta 514's ILS 22 left, 10 mile final.
Delta 514 Kennedy Tower number 2, following a heavy A310 on a 2-mile final. The wind is 200 at 20, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, number 2, 22 left, Delta 514. Alright, not gonna hot dog it, guys. We're gonna leave the leave the what's it called, the automation in for longer than we normally do.
I'm Delta 3688. Are you going to the east side or the west side of the terminal?
If we can get Terminal 4, that'd be great. 3688.
Yeah, you're going to the east side or the west side of Terminal 4?
Easiest for you, 3688.
Sounds like a plan. Pilot's easy for me.
Alright, 145.
Of course, Curtis gonna die, so 3688. Good evening, Tower, Air France 1590. With
Landing flaps coming out.
Left.
Air France 1590 Heavy Kennedy Tower number 2 following a 737 on a 4-mile final. The wind is, I'm sorry, the wind is 200 at 20, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Number 2, clear to land, 22 left, Air France 1590.
Let's match the throttles.
And Air France 1590, you can start reducing the final approach speed now.
Working on it, Tower, Air France 1590.
Okay, roger, you're about 2 miles in trail there, mile and a half. Delta 3688, do me a favor, keep taxiing down hotel, hold short of 22 right.
1,000.
10 hotel, short of 22 right, 3688.
Alright, my airplane, guys. Landing flap set and check, gears green. Missed approach altitude is 3,000 if we do need to go missed. I can set that real quick, probably here.
Air France 1590 Heavy, if you can't control your aircraft, I'm going to have to ask you to disconnect, okay? I can't have you circling around like this and just crashing into the ground.
Copy that.
That was a crash.
500.
Alright, let's start bringing it back to 130, which is our V.
Air France 008 Heavy, welcome to Kennedy, taxi, hotel, hold short of T2 right.
Ref.
1600 to right, Delta 3688, cross 22 right on hotel, taxi
Continuing.
straight ahead to the ramp.
Cross to your right, and then straight ahead to the ramp. 3688, thanks so much for the service.
Air France 008 Heavy, what's your terminal today?
100. 50. 40.
Air France 8 Heavy, what is your terminal today?
10.
Oh, rough one. Rough one. Frame rates were suffering a little bit. I was trying to flare it, and yeah, it didn't work out too well. So it was a little bit of a heavy hit, but we're down, guys. We're down. Kick off the auto brake. Is this the... Yeah, this is the one we want here. Would be Juliet.
New York Tower, good evening. World Express 366 Heavy, 5 miles out for the ILS runway 22 left approach.
Okay.
I'm sorry, World Express 366 Heavy Kennedy Tower, the wind 200 at 20, runway 22 left, clear land.
22 left, clear land, 366 Heavy.
Can't see what this...
Taxi hotel, hold short of 22 right, and are you going to the east side or the west side of the terminal today?
Hotel short of 22 right, and we're going to 4 west, west side, Delta 514.
Sounds wonderful. Air France 8 Heavy, cross runway 22 right on hotel, make the left on Alpha.
Turned off one sooner than I intended to, so that's not too bad. Alright, let's start the, let's start the taxi in checklist. So yeah, the frame rates were suffering. I was trying to chop the power and then just get a nice, smooth, flared attitude, and frame rates were not cooperating with me, so I'm going to blame that just a little bit. Overall execution on the approach was pretty good. Not too terribly displeased with it. Let's go ahead and stow the flaps and spoilers. But the actual touchdown, very much on the firm side, so.
JetBlue 22 Alpha Kennedy Tower number 2, following a 767 on a 2-mile final. The wind is 200 at 20, runway 22 left, cleared to land.
Clear to land to left.
Stop it short there.
Delta 514, cross 22 right on hotel, make the left on Alpha, ground point 9, good day.
Alright, cross 22 right in hotel and left on Alpha, ground point 9er, Delta 514, thanks. I'm kind of nervous about doing that with a plane sitting up there. Let's do a couple.
Tower 30 City shutting down at the gate. Thank you so much for the service tonight.
Okay, he's moving. He's moving. He's moving. He's moving. Let's go. So left on Alpha, ground point 9er. We got the landing lights, turn off lights. We can do the APU on. Not that we have much fuel for it. Position lights steady. That's Alpha the first left here.
6251, 10 minus to the runway 22
No,
left.
Alpha's the second left.
Area 6251 Kennedy Tower, roger, your number 2 following an A340 on a 2-mile final. The wind is 220 at 20, runway 22 left, clear to land.
Go ahead and get over the ground frequency.
EPS 555, heavy moderate, or contact Kennedy Tower 123.90 and ready. Have a good night.
Okay, start knobs can come back. Position light steady. Okay, probe heat can come off. We'll do that.
Ground, taxi 147 again, request fire clearance to Washington.
Air taxi 147 heavy, you're cleared to the Washington Airport. Score soft departure, Ranger transition, bad vectors to wave down as filed. Climb via the SID. Expect level 22010 minutes.
Left on Alpha.
Departure frequency 135.9, squawk 71.
And then probably make the right turn here and then another right. Oh, I'm supposed to be taxiing with the tiller. That's the problem.
Kennedy ground, UPS 555, hold short runway 31 left at Kilo Echo.
UPS 555, squawk 3055 and contact Kennedy Tower 123.9er.
Okay. 3055, contacting Kennedy
Alright, there we go.
Tower.
So the brakes are on the pedals, but steering is on the tiller. Ground Delta 514 is Alpha, south of Hotel, going to the west side of 4 West.
Who wants to be next and start the hype train?
Alright, well, we're standing by. Let's run through the rest of the checklist. So APU on, position left steady, start knobs, probe heat we did. Flight directors can come off.
Okay, I'm sorry, who was calling me?
It was Delta 514. We're Alpha south of Hotel, going on the west side of 4 West.
Delta 514, Kennedy ground, continue taxi.
We'll continue, Delta 514. Okay, guess we know where we're going, huh? Alright, so flight directors, auto brake, weather radar,
Push back is at pilot's discretion, area generation, Juliet's current.
terrain radar,
Blue flag approved. Jet blue side.
Not used to steering with the tiller. I probably need to just do that with the feet because I just have too much to do with my hands that my co-pilot would handle if I had one. Let's see what else we got to do. Minimums reset, and we can get the transponder back into TA and RA. Alright, so now that we've made the turn, we'll basically make the next right, and we'll go up the west side of that terminal there. Alright, minimums reset. We didn't do that yet. There we go.
Attention all Tower frequency 87 basic kilos now current, the Kennedy altimeter 2931.
So I don't know where that plane is going to. I think he's going to block our access to the gate we want to go to. So I think what we'll do is we'll just choose a closer one. Probably the one he just pushed off of. Some straight. The pushback does this a little bit weirdness with the attitude rendering. It's the network is getting unusual acceleration and deceleration packets during the pushback, so that's why you're seeing that unusual attitude there. That's not what the pilot's actually doing. It's just a network glitch. But yeah, this is as far as we can go.
Ground, good day. JetBlue 221 Alpha with you, taxiing on Bravo.
JetBlue 022 Alpha, Kennedy ground, straight ahead, Bravo to there.
Straight ahead, 22 Alpha.
Ground,
Okay.
good evening. World Express 366 Heavy vacated runway 22 right. Taxiing via Alpha to North Cargo.
World Express 366 Heavy, Kennedy ground, Roger. Can you merge right onto Bravo, Echo, hold for 309?
Okay, we're down, guys. Let's see if we can get the parking brake to
Alpha,
actually
merge
engage.
onto Bravo and hold 31 right. 366 Heavy.
No, it's not gonna like us. It's not gonna let us do that.
4349 November Bravo registered.
Okay, well, we'll have to figure that out another day. I'm just gonna hold the brakes until we get the wheel chock set. That will be fine. Pond has been crossed. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get this shutdown done. An hour and change after we expected to.
Ground, hello, American 293 Heavy, holding short at Bravo, cross.
Parking brake is on, not really, but kinda. Let's get the taxi light off. Let's get the APU buses on.
To the ramp, American 293 Heavy.
And the APU bleed and ISO valve open. We can go ahead and cut the fuel levers. We're not out of the woods with the fuel yet because we're still running the APU. Ended a little bit light. Okay.
JetBlue 79 on the train, left Kilo Echo, taxi via left Bravo, Kilo Echo.
Let's come back up top. The
taxi that Kilo
nope,
Echo.
not that one.
Runway 3.
What are we doing up top? Anti-collision lights. Anti-collision lights off. Wheel well lights on. Seatbelt signs can come off.
162, 51,
Chime can come off.
heavy Kennedy ground, Roger.
Hydro pumps can come off. The fuel pumps can come off, except for the left that we'll leave on for the APU. Window heat will come off. We got to get that APU shut down ASAP though, because we're almost out of fuel for it. Let's go ahead and get the doors open. Go to menu, FS actions and doors. Open, next, open, open, and open, and return. Go to ground services. Let's get the chocks on. Okay, now I can let go of the pedals, and we'll get ground power and ground AC. Let's go back to center pedestal. Let's change the big numbers so that we're not accidentally squawking an emergency code. Let's change the big numbers first.
Air Canada 320 ready for taxi.
Air Canada 320, right to Alpha, Kilo Echo, taxi via Alpha,
And
Kilo
put it
Echo.
in standby. Whoops.
21 left on Kilo Echo via Alpha, Kilo Echo
What else,
for
guys?
320.
Now we can go up and shut the APU off. So ground power is
World
on.
Express 366 Heavy, holding short.
We got ground AC, so we can turn the packs can come off.
World Express 366
APU
heavy
bleed
cross,
and
309
APU
Echo,
off.
left Charlie to the ramp.
See, I did transfer that over, right?
Cross 31 right at Echo and
So
left
APU
Charlie
off.
to the ramp. 366 Heavy, good day.
Okay, yeah, they're all off. Okay, alright, so, packs, ground power, APU, fuel pump. Oh, that last fuel pump, let's make sure I got that. Alright, well, we know the fuel and ETA estimates were way off, so screw that. Let's see how your estimates were. You all estimated on the low side, I am predicting. Like I said, I'm going to blame bad frame rates to some extent. And I just think, Kenny, this is why I say
78, contact Kennedy Tower, 123.
You can't trust that number there. 432 is what is what wound up being registered.
American 4349, contact Kennedy Tower, 123.9.
13.9.
So 334 was Rob's guess. He was 98 away.
Thank you, bye-bye.
292, 35, 260.
Kennedy ground American 2001 on Alpha.
Okay, 350 was a little closer.
American 2001, Kennedy ground, straight ahead Alpha to the ramp, have a good night.
350, Koala.
Straight ahead on Alpha, thank you very much, hit the ramp.
268 was Kenny's. 220. Yeah, it was 350's, Koala. Guys, let me know if you saw somebody that had one higher. Koala had 350. It's the highest one that I saw. So that's the one I'm going to go with, unless you guys start yelling at me otherwise. All right, let's finish up the shutdown, guys. Real quick, finish up the shutdown. The normal show schedule, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, mostly a general aviation stream. The full show schedule under the About tab over on our Discord server. Discord server, lower right-hand side of your screen. Good place to interact with me, although I'm going to take a break today. But I know that I wasn't too interactive in the chat on that last part there. But interact with me on that Discord. You're more than welcome to. Great community over there. Twitter is where we keep you up to speed with stream show schedule changes, sim news, and VATSIM news. So give us a follow over there. On the YouTube channel, that's where all of our old flight broadcasts are kept. But also some tutorials for getting onto VATSIM, what to say to controllers, what call sign to connect with, how to put routes together, that sort of thing. So do check that out if you like. And, of course, right there across the bottom of the screen, Flight Sim Expo, giant trade show happening at the end of June. That promo code AIRSTRIPPY gets you 10% off of the in-person registration if you go. Houston, Texas, June 23rd through 25th, and I will see you there. So that's our abbreviated wrap-up. And tomorrow night, Monday night, we're back on our normal show schedule. Monday at 7 p.m., flying with the backcountry Bush League Backcountry Fly-In Series. Itinerary is posted at downwindsim.com. If you want to check that out, Monday at 7 is when we will be back on from the area of Portland, Oregon. All right, guys, let's finish up the shutdown of the plane. And
Kennedy ground, good evening. Lufthansa 411 Heavy via Alpha Terminal 1.
Lufthansa 411 Heavy, Kennedy ground, straight ahead Alpha to the ramp.
Thank you, via Alpha to the ramp, Lufthansa 411 Heavy.
Bear with me. And just get the rest of the plane shut down. So the emergency lights would come unguarded and off. Off, rather. Off is that way. Okay, yaw damper can come off. The IRS knobs can come off. The logo position and wheel well lights can come off. Logo position and wheel well lights. Ground power can come off. And the battery power can come off. Let's jump back down to the FMC then. And FS actions, we'll go doors, we'll get the door closed next. Oops, FS actions and doors. Get all the hatches and equipment doors closed, and we'll return, and then we'll go to ground services, and we'll release that, and we'll release that. And that should do it, guys. Alright, nice sunset shot, although I did already disconnect from the VATSIM network, so we lost the other planes floating around here. But nice sunset shot at Kennedy. Do appreciate you flying along. Hope that you enjoyed descent and arrival execution much better than the departure execution. Landing itself was a bit on the firm side, but again, frame rates did play a role there. So there you go. But Cross the Pond is complete. Let's find somebody who's doing some flight sim streaming to send you over to. Is this is Moose. Moose is just wrapped up. Let's see. What's Stu up to? Stu's doing, looks like some Anchorage to Vancouver flying. So we'll send you up to Stu, our friend, STW-222, VATSIM pilot and controller, doing some flying today. So we'll send you over to him here. I hope that you enjoy his show. Tell him Slant Alpha sends his love. Guys, we'll see you Monday night from the cockpit of the Cessna 152 WBSIM tail dragger variant this time, from the area of Portland, Oregon, with the Bush League Backcountry Flying Series. Have a great rest of your weekend. Be healthy and safe in your own travels and your own adventures. In the meantime, guys, be well. Take care.